Hi, my name is Emily Webb, and I'm an assistant professor of biology at Rockford University in Rockford, Illinois. My research in graduate school focused on the physiology of color in birds, but my job today primarily focuses on teaching undergraduate students in biology courses like Anatomy and Physiology, genetics, and intro bio. One academic accomplishment I'm most proud of is getting my dream job teaching after graduate school. I always wanted to teach, and I was able to find a place at a school with small class sizes where I can really work closely with undergraduate students. I'd gotten an offer to do a postdoc, but I decided to go straight into a teaching position from my PhD because it was more permanent and exactly what I wanted to do. I experienced multiple challenges in graduate school. One particular failure that stands out to me is when I had a dissertation chapter idea rejected by my committee. I was finishing my degree during the pandemic, so myself and a lot of my peers who relied on fieldwork had to pivot some of our projects. For a lot of my colleagues, that meant doing a literature review. I'd come up with this idea to do a computational study where I would run simulations and analyze those results instead. However, when I presented that to my committee, they thought it wasn't a good idea. They essentially told me, "You're trying to run before you can walk, that this is not something I should aim to do during my dissertation. If I really wanted to, I could do it after, but I shouldn't do it now." Even after they said no, I resisted them a little bit, tried to make my case, offered different options and versions of things that I could maybe still handle, but they said no. I wasn't really mentally prepared for this response. I expected maybe some pushback from my committee, but I didn't really consider a full-on shutdown as a possible response, and it was hard not to take it personally. Even though I knew I shouldn't take it that way at the time, it still felt like them saying no meant that they didn't think that I could do it. Overall, I mostly just felt disappointed. It was really hard to accept because I couldn't do another field project with COVID, and really the only other option that a lot of my peers were doing was writing another literature review, which I didn't really want to do. Ultimately, I did do a literature review though, but I felt like it wasn't as good as it could have been if I had started with that idea in the first place. And it also made this chapter feel kind of like my nemesis, where I had to do it and it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. First, I knew it was important for me to take time and space. Failures can be hard to deal with, and you want to give yourself time to not think about it, even if subconsciously your brain keeps trying to go back to it over and over again. I really like to be able to take time to give myself that space, and often I would talk to my spouse or fellow graduate students, and these conversations where I would kind of bounce my thoughts off of them helped me figure out how I actually felt about the situation, and while stripping away some of those personal attack feelings. Then once I was ready to move on, I had gotten through the initial processing phase, I tried to brainstorm some solutions, and then I went back to my committee. From this experience of failure, even if I wasn't able to get what I wanted, it helped me learn how to move forward by finding an alternative path. I needed to figure out what a project would look like that my committee would let me do, but also was something kind of related to what I wanted to do anyway. In the end, I was able to come up with a hybrid type of project where it was a little bit of literature review, but also like a perspective article. And I gave examples from the parts of the literature and did do like some mini analyses that weren't really simulations. While I was happier with this idea, I also definitely mourned the loss of the original study that I planned. Be sure to give yourself that time and space to mourn the failure, accept that that's okay to do, and then move on either by kind of just pushing through and/or finding an alternative path. Also on time management, just because this was a big thing for me in grad school, you might not always be able to adjust right away when you either intentionally or accidentally overcommit yourself. But if you find a way to at least get through it, then you can take some time to reflect and reevaluate how you're going to change what you're doing so that you're not as overwhelmed next time. This too shall pass is something I told myself a lot during grad school. Thanks for watching Fail Safe Science. My name is Emily Webb, and I hope my story helps graduate students feel less alone.